being able to go overseas and be reminded of that, and also be reminded of that in my everyday of like, I'm meeting my new neighbors. I am meeting people that I wouldn't have met otherwise because I'm being intentional. I think that is probably the biggest thing that God taught me, was to be intentional with people. For me, missions begins way back when I was 4.5, right after I gave my life to Jesus, and I was attending a BSF study with my mom. And we were talking about Paul and his trips to various places and what a missionary looks like. And so that's when mission started stirring in my heart. I went home after one of our lessons and looked at my mom and was like, I'm going to be a missionary like Paul. And that's just kind of where my love for missions started. Anything to do with missions just got me excited. And I just really felt like God had put that longing and that stirring in my heart. And so in 2012, I got the opportunity to go to Kenya with a group back in Texas, where, we're from. I went on that trip in 2012, and then I went again in 2015 to the same area. So it was really nice to see the same people, get connected, and say, hey, I remember you, and be able to serve them. I got the opportunity to go back to Kenya for the third time with a ministry that my dad works for. And what they do is they provide clean water through the form of buckets, like 5-gallon pickle buckets and filters. They don't have a lot of medical attention, a lot of pharmaceuticals, which is why we ended up going with the bucket ministry, is because like I said, there's raw sewage everywhere. And so all of their water trickles down into a ravine. All of the latrines are literally on the sides of the ravine. So it goes down to their drinking water. Well, you wonder why you have diarrhea and cholera and all these diseases that are, waterborne diseases. Well, as soon as you filter through these filters, the water is clean. Like, I drank the water while I was over there, and I never got sick. I think it's just the people. They get in your heart, and they're hard to forget. You see the faces, and you think about the struggles that they've been through, are just like us, just with less money. And so when you connect with people on a soul level, I think it endears you to one another, and so it just feels like you go back and you're just going home. They're just so happy, and it's contagious. Like, I wish that we were more like that sometimes, and just like free to just be open about our worship and just be like, it doesn't matter, because everyone else is as excited as I am. Lots of dancing. Oh my goodness, so much dancing. And it's just so joy-filled. Like, they're clapping and dancing and no one sits down. The joke was that they called all of us the Frozen Chosen, because we were just like, we don't do that here. If we start dancing in the middle of church, people are like, what are you doing? It's such a wild concept for us, because they have so little, material-wise, but they have so much in the Lord, and they have so much joy. And it's a great reminder for me every time, I go see the people of like, you don't have to have things to be content. My own personal opinion, I think our worldview is like this, because it's just what we know, and this is how it is, and this is how it's going to be. But you don't realize there's so much else that's out there. Like, spiritual warfare is real, and people don't realize that, because I think we get so distracted. There's nothing to distract you out there. I did not have cell service at all. Like, you can't be here. You are fully present in the people and what's going on. And I think that is really cool. I think the biggest way that God moved my heart was a reminder of like, you can reach for anything and you can want whatever, but without the Lord, it doesn't matter. It really solidified to me what is my purpose on earth, and it's to tell people about Jesus. It's not to have a big house and to have 2.5 children and to have a white picket fence and the newest car and all of those things. My purpose is here to glorify God and pursue people. I think it's a great reminder of like, it doesn't matter where you are, you're always on a mission field. So whether that's here in the States or going overseas, you're still on mission. We're called to go and make disciples of all nations, and that includes where we live. And I think that's super important to remember as well, is you don't have to go overseas to be a missionary. You get to do it right here. Community is made and not found, and so making community is part of being a missionary as well.